and welcome to another episode of Storytime with the Scaryish podcast.
Woo!
I'm Robin Grace, this is Adam Diaz, and we're here to read you guys some homegrown horrors. Adam, can you tell us what homegrown horrors are?
Sure. Homegrown horrors are paranormal, creepy, scary, spiritual, sometimes coincidental, sometimes hilarious stories that you folks have experienced, or maybe a friend or family member has experienced that you have decided to share with us. And you send them to us and we read them on these episodes called Storytime. It's super fun. We record them live 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Tuesday of every week. Robin, if folks had a story like that they wanted to share, how can they do so?
You guys can email us at storytime@scaryish.com. You can also go to our website, scaryish.com, and fill out our contact us form. It gets emailed to us that way. We also have a whole bunch of different social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We don't do any of that TikTok stuff.
Yeah, I don't do dance challenges.
But yeah, so hit us up.
Yeah, that's how you can get your story to us. We do have 4 we're going to be reading to you tonight. Now, a couple of elephants in the room. Actually, I think there's one you guys know about and one you guys don't know about.
Captain Fake Eye redeemed switch seats.
Already? We just started, man. So, I forgot to change all that stuff. So before we switch seats, I'll address the first elephant in the room. Yeah, I shaved. We went to a Cubs game on Sunday, so I knew I was going to be out in the blazing hot sun, which I did not want a tan line on my face, because eventually I was going to shave throughout the summer. So, yeah, I have a baby face. I do apologize about it, but hey, sometimes that happens. So the second elephant in the room that you folks don't know about, I quit my job today. Yeah, I put in my 2 weeks notice today at my place of work. To just be blunt with you folks, it is more important for me to be happy, and I'm definitely not that there, and I haven't been in a really long time, and you can't put a price on someone's mental health, and it's been really, really, really hard, and it's about time for me to move on. And what I said when I did this was, it's easier for me to struggle to have extra money than to struggle to be happy. And if I work at a place that seems to thrive on making people struggle to be happy, it's time for me to move on. And that's exactly what happened today. I have 2 weeks left in my time at my current employer, and then I will be going back to freelance stuff, which will be much more difficult, but I think in the end I will be much happier because of it. So yeah, you folks have been here through a lot when it comes to my life. I know Robin's totally terrified right now. I talked to her about this yesterday before I did it. I think she thought I was just blowing smoke or blowing off steam, but it's definitely something that I've been thinking about for a long time, and it's something that I think in the long run will be better for, and I can dedicate more time to things that are definitely more important than what I've been doing for this past year. So, yeah, there you go. A little bit of insight, a peek behind the curtain into our lives. So, like I said, we're going to be reading 4 homegrown horrors tonight. So, Robin, did you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I have mine up, so I guess I'll just start.
Okay.
All right. So this story is titled "Sleep Paralysis Story and the Spooky Floor." It's a little bit different than the glass ceiling. They're both see-through, though.
Spooky floor versus glass ceiling.
They're both see-through. I mean, you could have a full body apparition. What is it called?
A full floating. God damn it. I don't even know right now.
Torso,
my brain's so scattered.
I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
Full torso, free floating, vaporous apparition. That's exactly what it is.
All
pretty
right.
Sure.
So, I don't know anything about Ghostbusters. I know there's dudes in it who shoot little ray guns at stuff. All right.
I'm going to go ahead and have you mark that one, too.
Well, you're not laughing.
Well, it's like you say dudes with little ray guns. I'm like, it just, to me, all I picture is Mars Attacks. And I just go like,
my God. Aren't they coming out with a new Mars Attacks game?
I don't know. Probably.
I don't know.
Who knows?
All right, so, hey, it's me. The guy that wrote in saying he was dragged into sleep and had to throw himself off the bed.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
My name's Julian, and I have to inform you, Adam, that when I was in the middle of constantly having sleep paralysis, I did have a sleep study. That was pretty expensive, but the doctors said they couldn't find anything wrong with me. Science has failed me.
Wow, that's fucked up. That sounds so sad.
I feel like science doesn't solve everything. Like my grandpa the other day was saying, like, doing MRIs and CT scans and stuff like that. They can find lots of things, but small things like why something hurts doesn't necessarily work.
Right.
So it's
a lot of times you'd wind up diagnosing a symptom instead of the cause.
Right.
Yeah, that sucks.
So yeah, science does fail people sometimes.
I'm What's for Dinner has redeemed Ask a Question. The question is, Robin, you had 2 funny voice redemptions.
Why aren't you reading these things?
Because it's over there. They happened in a single minute. Okay, we got 2 funny voice redemptions and now a hydrate. So you're going to have to do 2 funny voices, and then I'll let you hydrate because you're the one with the water this time.
So one night, I went to sleep, and again, I couldn't move. But my right eye was closed shut, and I was struggling to keep my other eye from closing. In my mind, all I was saying was, if I close my eyes, something bad'll happen.
This is a pretty good accent. Also, shout out to Captain Fake, who just donated 1,000 bits. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That really helps, especially right now.
Yeah, it definitely helps. After what felt like a minute or 2, I finally was able to move and jumped out of bed. When I looked at the clock, it was actually 30 minutes that had passed by. Safe to assume that I didn't sleep that night.
Holy shit.
When I feel like when it's blackouts or like where you just lose time,
yeah,
it freaks me out because what happened? What did you do?
Where'd that time go? I hear that time keeps on slipping.
Okay, do I have to do
future.
do I have to do a different voice?
Yeah, because you got 2 of them, so you got to do another one now.
Man.
That was a really good voice, though. You launched right into it. You didn't speculate. You weren't like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. You just jumped into it. I'm actually like really impressed with that.
Thank you. Okay, so next voice. Let's see. How do you do Valley Girl? What's your Valley Girl sound like?
I don't know. You just sound stupid, and you just make her weird sounds.
What the fuck? For the next story, I have to give details about what I do.
You're not stupid enough on this one.
I work for the building maintenance for the police department. I work at the headquarters on dog watch, night shift.
Wow.
Basically, I'm a janitor and I clean other people's mess, like emptying trash cans, cleaning bathrooms, etc. There's 2 buildings we operate in. A small one that
sound like the Dream Phone commercial from the 90s.
What? The one that's like, don't ask me, I'm just a girl.
No, that's a fake commercial from Malibu Stacy The Simpsons, but you were close.
All right. There's 2 buildings we operate in. A small one that has 5 floors, but we only do 2 floors, and both have people working there. The main old building that had 8...
Captain Fake Eye has redeemed Ask a Question said, I'll let you read that, actually.
I'm from the actual Valley. Just wanted to say, nice job, Robin. That's exactly what I sound like when I'm drunk, and the Valley Girl comes out.
That's amazing.
All right, so there's 2 buildings we operate in. Small one, 5 floors, blah, blah. Okay. The main old building that had 8 floors, where all but 1 floor is empty of people. Yes, I said had 8 floors, because the 8th floor used to be the jail, but had it all cleared out, and now it's a big-ass dark floor with only 4 windows. So
that's terrifying.
So this building had 8 floors, but the top floor was a jail. That is so creepy.
It's harder to get out when you're on the top floor. You can't just, like, pry up a bar and jump out the window.
I mean, if you really want to get out, you can.
I mean,
just gotta jump out.
Definitely connect all your sheets together and do all that crazy stuff if you were going to try and shimmy down. And by then, someone would see you. So it's really creepy to know that a jail was on the top floor and it's now
only
abandoned.
That
and
whole
dark.
level only had 4 windows. So imagine when it was a jail and people are just miserable and in the dark. I feel like I would just want to do crime because there's only 4 windows.
You just want to do crime
because it's so dark in there.
I would just want to do renovations. I'd be channeling my inner Jonathan Scott.
Oh my
gosh. You need to like open up this floor plan and definitely bring in some natural light.
I love Prison Architect because
oh my God.
It's just like put a window here, put a window here. Each cell gets a window. You get a window. You get a window. Everyone gets windows. It's also very expensive.
Prison Architect?
No, the windows.
Oh, I was like, that's a really cheap game. I'm pretty sure it was free.
I got it for free. Yeah. Anyway. So at the back of every floor is a hallway with bathrooms. At one end is a big window and the other is a stairway leading to every floor. On the 8th floor, to get into the hall of bathrooms, you must go through a heavy door with a small window.
The hall of bathrooms sounds like a place superheroes go to shit.
I imagine like a hospital hallway where it's a big double doors you have to go through to get to this hall that just has doors on either side and it's just all bathrooms.
Right. Shout out to the Snark who just resubscribed using their Amazon Prime for the 17th month.
That's
says happy
insane.
1,000 followers. Absolutely shout out to everyone who follows us on Facebook. We just hit 1,000. It is a big milestone for us because we don't really send out invites. We just kind of let this thing grow organically, and it's really
Yeah.
nice to see that we got to 4 digits. So.
We don't spam people like, follow our stuff. Like,
I think I hit up my friends on my friend list, like, when we started the whole thing.
Yeah.
And only select people who I thought wouldn't be annoyed by it, like, a while ago.
so thank you, everybody who has made our Facebook 1,000 likes.
Yeah.
That's insane. We have
it's
even
pretty
more
awesome.
followers. We have 1,000 likes. That's
we
crazy.
have, like, I don't know, 1,050 followers, but...
So let's do that with the Twitter and Instagram, too. Go and like us.
Instagram's
We're
almost
so
there.
close.
We're at 965 on Instagram.
Yeah, we
and
need 40 more people
We didn't
to
start our
hit
Instagram
1K.
until, like, a year after the podcast started, too. Maybe, like, 6-8 months in there, but... right, we have a... Whoa, be very careful with your
elbow hit the
elbows.
table.
She is just so wild with her arms, man. So what else do we got? Glitch Grim subscribed for the 10th month. Thank you so much, Glitch. And also, another ridiculous accents was redeemed by Chicka Chicka Boom Boom.
All right, who do I want to be today? I mean, who?
I wake up and I say that to myself every day.
Oh,
And then I say, I want to be me,
okay.
because I have you.
I'm gonna be Adam. Yo, dogs. You're so.
What else do I say?
I don't know.
I quit.
69 penises.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Okay. God. When I was being trained and we had to do bathrooms, I was introduced to the 8th floor.
Ridiculous accent.
Oh, God. The only lights there were from the elevator lobby.
Chicka Chicka Boom
And
Boom
the
has
small-
requested a Russian accent.
I can't. Oh, my God, no.
In Russia, a story reads you.
And I can't do a Russian accent. Maybe in our downtime we'll have to practice.
We're totally going to have to practice accents
Because-
now that you brought this dynamic into this
Yeah.
fucking show.
Because I can't, I only know so many. When I was being trained and we had to do bathrooms, I was introduced to the 8th floor. The only lights there were from the elevator lobby and the small window on the door to the bathrooms. We had to clean the bathrooms there even though there's nothing on this floor because some dumb fucks keep using them. Why would anybody in that building be like, hey, I'm not going to use this one on this floor. I'm going to go up to the haunted prison
Right.
floor. Like, what?
There's only one reason someone would go to an abandoned floor to use the bathroom. They're jerking it.
Ew. Or taking a dump. Sometimes people need their personal space.
You know what's funny is I used to be that kind of person who felt like embarrassed if I was using the restroom and it was noisy. And then someone told me, like, not me, man. Like, that's my symphony in there. And since they told that to me, I'm, like, more inspired to just cut loose. Like,
No, if someone walks in while I'm in the middle of, like, dropping one, I'm like, hold it in until someone else flushes. You know what I mean?
Sometimes
Like,
I'll hold it because I still have that instinct of, like, don't make noise. But as soon as someone else makes noise now, I'm like, battle shit it is. Let's do this. Because I feel pretty confident in my ability to be the noisiest.
pitch black darkness around me. I walked for maybe 5 yards with my cart, but I was with someone, so I had to be fine, right? Guess again. That's totally something Adam would do, be all super intense and dumb.
Wow, thanks for that. Chicka Chicka Boom Boom seems very disappointed that no Yoda accent has come through on this.
I can't do Yoda. Like, how would I do that? Let's see. As I was walking and approaching the door. It's awful.
Hey, she tries. There you go. No refund for you on those fake points. Chicka Chicka Boom Boom redeemed a hydrate as well, so go ahead and you reward yourself with some water there.
It was, that's so hard. I heard a faint rattling of chains from the far corner in the darkness. In my mind, I was like, yo, dog, when I'm done with training and I'm all alone, I'm definitely avoiding this floor. And now to get there, I use a stairway from the 7th floor to get up, and a message to Spooky Chain Boy, bruh, it's 2020, move on. Okay, I don't know what that is, but all right. Thank you for the things you do, and love you all. Thank you so much, Arsene, for sending that to us.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I think Nick Jonas was in there because I hear that he's in chains. He's in chains for your love. So, just saying. It's the only song I know that has chains in it. I know
Okay.
there's that artist named 2 Chainz, but I have no idea what anything... I don't know anything
I don't
that
know
guy's
anything
saying,
about
so.
2 Chainz.
I just know that he exists. All right, so I'm going to move on to my first email of the show, and the subject is The Haunting on Bus 116. Pretty good subject line. And it starts out like this. Hello, Adam and Robin.
Hello.
Hello.
I think this is so strange coming after what you saw today at work.
Yeah, right. I got to work today, like, ready to just, like, let everyone know, like, I'm out. And everyone was standing at the window looking out onto the freeway because a school bus had flipped and spun around and wound up off of the freeway because it was raining in Vegas, and that's just sort of what happens to drivers here. I don't think any children were on it because everyone watched for a long time to see if anyone was hurt. I think it was just the driver, and I'm pretty sure they were fine. So, yeah, it's weird that we have a fucking email about a haunted bus on a day like today. So, the email goes on to say, it's me again with a story about a haunted bus. Let me set the scene. Picture a higher-end school bus with a bathroom and plush seats. There's a bathroom on a school bus?
This must be like one of those buses that sports teams take on tour.
Right.
Where they act. It's like an RV or something.
Yeah, I see what you're saying here. Okay. Sadly, this is the football player's bus, so it smells permanently of sweat and aggression. Due to budget cuts, the football players and the herd, H-E-R-D, the pep squad, had to share a bus. Every pair of seats has their own lights directly above them, triggered by a button right next to it, except for the 18th row. This is the nicest school bus I've ever heard of.
I think it's like a tour bus.
I grew up in a poor school, so I'm like, bathroom, you mean the hole in the back of the bus that you can pee out of?
This kind of sounds like bus that a band, like a school band, would have, where you have to fit 1 million students on there.
Right.
But it's a nice, air-conditioned, fancy bus, you know?
Okay.
I don't know.
So the email goes on. Being a cliquish town, the herd was at the front of the bus while the football players were at the back.
Cliquish, meaning everybody has their own groups?
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother, who is the football team's cameraman, was sitting in the 18th row while I was in the 15th. After the game, we all piled in and set off for home. This trip takes 2 hours, so many people wanted to sleep. All the lights were turned off. After a huge speed bump, the buttonless light flickered on. Being annoyed at the sudden light, many people wanted it to turn off. I heard your lips smack, so I know you got something to say.
When the light, if you hit a speed bump and the light turns on, I just imagine circuit error, something with the circuitry.
Yeah, and there's no button to it, so it probably just like closed the circuit so it actually turned on or whatever. All right, I'm going to keep going. Everyone wants this freaking light to turn off, so everyone's like, oh my god, turn off the light. After a huge speed bump, the button, being annoyed, people are like, oh my god.
Sounds like me reading.
Here we go. Many people wanted it turned off. My brother searched for a way to turn it off, but to no avail. Finally, it flickered off. As the herd began to joke about the bus being haunted, the light flickered on. This spooked a bunch of people.
That's scary.
And a little while after, the light flicked off. The conversation about this ghost light continued in the dark till one of the people asked, quote, if this bus is haunted, how did they die?
This is where I'm going to interject that Glitch redeemed ridiculous accents.
All right. I was gonna read like the sloth from Zootopia, then I was like, no, that'll take fucking forever. I need some suggestions on what I should do here, folks.
I love him.
I need some suggestions for accents.
Let's see. There's a bunch of football players. There's a bunch of cheerleaders. There's you could do
Valley Girl again.
I mean, you could, but how about Super Nerdy?
Super Nerdy,
like Revenge of the Nerds.
I've never watched.
Oh my gosh!
I watched when I was a kid, but I don't remember them. They're in the ether of childhood. So as soon as the word death was said, the light flicked on.
Sounds like you're like.
This caused the herd to panic, and a few of the football players. The other football players were too tired to care. As I began to look over with my skeptical eye, I saw my brother trying to suppress giggles. I shot him a text. I said, why are you laughing? What do you know that I don't? With the emoticon, and it has like the monocle on it.
Okay, you're good.
Thank you. He replied, I'll tell you later. After he explained it, I laughed too. The button to the quote-unquote ghost light was right next to his knee, and his knee was covered by his jacket. After the speed bump, he realized where the button was, and his prankster antics ensued.
What an asshole.
Mini story. This is about my Omen baby. As a child, I always wanted a cat, but my family being dog people, a cat was out of the question. Then, about 2.5 months ago, I asked the powers that be to send me someone so I'd stop feeling so lonely. I should have been more specific. As I was walking home from the bus stop, a cat began to follow me. She looked about a few weeks old. After trying to find her owner, my parents decided this was meant to happen, so now I have an adorable cat who chose me. Thank you so much for
That's
being
so
there for
cute.
me when I was feeling too socially anxious to go out, but didn't want to be alone. You are absolutely welcome. And if you want to do what I do with the McElroy Brothers shows, play them on repeat when you're feeling down, because it just feels like you have someone there talking to you, because we sincerely are talking to you, and we hope you enjoy it. So thank you so much for sending us that email. I think it's hilarious that, like, yep, found the button. Now I'm going to fudge with people. That's hilarious.
It's just like that guy, and I feel like we always reference this video where his sisters, I assume, are upstairs.
The breaker box.
Yeah, and he just
so
switches the thing in the breaker.
Because they're playing with the Ouija board upstairs. Yeah, exactly. It's just so funny. Prankster shit is hilarious. Please send us more.
I totally want another kitty cat, too.
I will say, we are also people who's had a cat choose them. We were looking for a cat.
Yeah.
We went in, and some lady who was, like, adopting cats, or, like you know, setting up the adoptions, told us she had a black cat coming that had white paws. So it looked like it had socks on. We're like, we'll come back and look at that. Emanon has redeemed to ask a question, says, high five, slap hands. Good high five. So we're like, we'll come back.
I can hear the reverberation, like the ringing.
Little bit. So we'll come back, we'll look at that cat. And as we were about to leave, we saw an all black cat that was really, really skinny. And we're like, well, let's look at that one. So we looked at it, and she was shy, but she, like, curled up on your lap and, like, started purring. And they told us, you know, she'll be really shy. You won't see anything of her. And we're like, well, we'll think about it. So we left with the intention of going back the next day to look at the other cat. And as we were shopping, we were just talking to each other like, you know, that cat was pretty awesome. Like, they told us it wouldn't come up to us, it wouldn't like us, and, like, almost immediately it curled up to us. So we're like, well, let's go back and see it again. Captain Fake, I redeemed to ask a question, says, are you all planning to go to PAX Unplugged? If so, Philly Scaryish meetup. We do not have any plans to travel.
We can't afford it either.
To Philly. Even if I was still, like, 100%, I mean, I haven't, like, I'm not done with work yet. We still probably wouldn't be going.
Yeah.
So, it's great now that she has a reason to blame everything we don't do on the fact that...
It's funny because I just wanted... I've been looking at tickets to Japan because they are so cheap right now. And
we can still go. The entire plan we had last night was based off of me not staying with this job, so I had time to travel. But now she's convinced we can't afford it, even though we were going to use miles to do all of this stuff.
Yeah, but you can't use miles to pay for a hotel and food and Disneyland.
I told her we could figure this out if we really want to go. So I don't even know what I was saying. Anyways, yeah, the cat. We went back. We saw the cat again. The cat came right up to us, cuddled on us. They're like, she hasn't really acted like that with anyone, but just be aware, because they don't want people to bring cats back. Like, she might disappear for a couple of days. She's a loner. She doesn't really like the other cats. So, like, we just sat with her and we're like, yeah, we'll take her. And
she walked all over our laps and was just like, hey, what's up?
We were driving home, and I was like, please don't take the cat out of that cat carrier. And, of course, Robin did it anyways, because that's what Robin does.
I just love animals.
So she let the cat out of the carrier, and it curled up in her lap in the car and fell asleep and started purring. Our cat's name is Aria. She has been cuddle buddies with us since the day we got her. She learned her name in like an hour and responds to it. She plays fetch. She absolutely loves us, and I love her. So being chosen by a cat is totally a special thing.
Yeah.
So before we move on, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And we're back.
All right. I'm excited to read this next one here. It's from Molly. It's titled Haunted College Campus.
Nice.
I'm very excited.
Some really good subject lines this evening. Pretty happy to see that.
All right, so it goes. Hello, Robin and Adam.
Hello.
Hello.
Greetings and salutations.
What is that?
Demolition Man.
No. From the Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory.
Hello, Starshine.
Yeah.
Sunshine.
Starshine.
It says hello.
Anyway.
Which, I mean, it's from a song.
Yeah, but that's what I remember it from. Because I'm younger than you, I guess. All right.
Just every time she can point that out, I'm younger than you.
It's true, though. I was listening to a very old Homegrown Horror episode, and there was a story about a haunted college campus. And I wanted to share my experience with my haunted college campus. I would love it if you shared my story on the pod. I apologize in advance if this email is super long. You can break it up if you need to. I attended a school in Massachusetts called Dean College. Fun fact, notable alumni include Richard Belzer, who used to play Munch on Law & Order at SVU. Sounds familiar, but I don't know who that is.
I've never watched Law & Order SVU.
I've only watched like marathon episodes, and I never pay attention to the actors. The things that happen to those people in those shows just are so intense. And so you just watch it because you're like, what happens next? Anyway, There have been quite a few tragedies that have happened either on campus or on the land where the campus is now, which have caused quite a bit of paranormal activity. The school itself is over 150 years old. I just imagine any colleges, schools, things like that that are on the East Coast that were around like the original colonies are haunted because so much history happened in the areas.
You know, the 13 original colonies.
Yep.
Cool. Tell all about them one by one.
What is that from?
Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh.
I learned so much from Schoolhouse Rock.
There are 3 main buildings where paranormal things happen: Dean Hall, Mitchell Hall, and Memorial Hall. Each one of these are dorm buildings. I used to live in Memorial Hall my sophomore year. Some hauntings have facts that back them up. All right. Some hauntings are just rumors or stories that have been passed down to students throughout the years. So it kind of depends on which story, I guess. Right. Dean Hall serves as both a dorm building and a building where classes are held. The first and second floor are for classrooms and offices. The third and fourth floor are dorms. And the fifth floor, however, is a restricted area. That's where they put all the books that they don't want the other kids to use magic for.
That area is out of bounds.
No one is allowed to go up to the fifth floor. There's got to be someone who's allowed in the fifth floor. Probably Dumbledore. It's a known fact that Dean Hall burnt down back in the early 1900s. It's said that a little girl was caught in the fire and died inside the building. People have said they've seen the ghost of a little girl in the window on the fifth floor. Friends and I, who have lived on the fourth floor of Dean Hall, said that they used to hear voices or footsteps coming from the floor above them. Another ghost who haunts Dean Hall is Oppie Pierce. He was the headmaster from 1897 to 1934. 37 years? That's a long time to run a school.
That's a really long time. People in our chat are talking about all the different songs from Schoolhouse Rock. I'm having a really hard time concentrating right now.
His office was on the...
Junction, what's your function? Sorry.
His office...
I'll do the whole preamble to the Constitution right fucking now. I swear to God I will.
His office was on the fifth floor of Dean Hall. He had a... fuck. You got me distracted
I
now.
did. That's my fault. This one's on me. This one's on me.
Fuck.
Don't hit me, please.
He had a heart attack in 1934 and died in his office. Instead of taking his body out, doctors recommended he stay there and just rot.
That doesn't make any sense.
That no one would say that. Even back in the day, I feel like, no, that's not true. I'm going to say no, not true.
Maybe they hated him. Like, this guy fucked my wife. My recommendation is that he rot in hell. No one move his body.
He should die of gonorrhea and rot in hell. All right. Mitchell Hall is extremely well known for being haunted. Mitchell Hall is an all-female dorm, which is important. It is mainly haunted by a little boy. Some of my friends lived in Mitchell and said they would hear things if they were alone, or the TV would sometimes turn on and off by itself. Sometimes the girls would invite guys over to hang. Not in an all-girls hall. That's wrong.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you misspelled that word, hang. There was supposed to be a B on the front of that.
Bang. You're so...
There was so much screaming going on in the all-girls hall.
Oh, my Lord. I've lost my place.
Someone was praying. I heard them calling God's name all night.
All right. It's just so... It's naughty. Inviting boys over to an all-girls hall?
Naughty.
It's naughty.
I'd like to point out that McShake and Bake only has 4,500 hit points left, guys.
You guys can knock him out in this one episode.
Knock him out.
Mama said knock him out. Okay. Guys who go into Mitchell almost always get attacked in some way by the little boy who lives there.
They
go,
wind
little
up
boy.
With claws on their back.
What is with you? What are you... Okay.
I don't know. I'm stuck in Valley Girl right now. So.
Most often, guys get pushed down the stairs. They'll be walking down the stairs and feel someone push them from behind like someone wants them out.
It's not sexy. There's nothing sexy about being pushed down the stairs.
And finally, Memorial Hall. Memorial Hall is where I had my own personal experiences. Memorial Hall and Dean Hall are actually connected by a secret hallway that a lot of students know about. And to be honest, I don't think I was allowed to use the hallway in the first place, but I did anyway.
So not so secret hallway.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
I had to go back to the text and make sure I read it right. Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay. Memorial Hall also had a fire in it as well early on. The building is one of the original buildings on campus, which means it's about 155 years old, and boy does it sound like it is.
Wow.
It used to be a home to an infirmary where they treated scarlet fever during an epidemic in the 1920s. At the time of my experience, I lived in a double dorm room, but I didn't have a roommate yet, so I lived alone. Nice. I think that's always nice when you get the whole dorm room to yourself.
Nice.
And you pay like the split price. You don't have to pay like the full price for both. That's cool. Now picture it. I'm laying in bed on my back, generally still, sporting the ever so common laptop on my chest with a glorious double chin scrolling through Tumblr. Oh, I miss old school Tumblr.
I don't miss the double chin. I still got it.
I got it too. Out of nowhere, my bed starts to move on its own. Almost like someone is at the end of my bed and pushing it to make it shake. That's scary. If you're,
I heard the bed shaking and moving.
That's the downside to being alone. Like, you're like, what do I do?
It's like there's no witnesses to confirm that this is happening, and I hate that isolating feeling.
I stopped scrolling and laid completely still to make sure that what I was feeling was real. I sat up and it stopped. I laid back down, resumed scrolling, and a few minutes later, it started again.
Went right back to scrolling through the internet. I fucking love it.
Oh, just scrolling through the not safe for work tabs.
Wow.
Or what is it called? Not tabs. They're called tags. That's what they're called. Tags, not tabs. I sat up again and it stopped. This happened a few more times before I decided it was time to go be social and left my room. I also had the lights turn off on me while in the bathroom alone. No. That's like some Bloody Mary bullshit right there.
Yeah, a little bit. Did you say Candyman 5 times in the mirror before this happened?
Oh my gosh. You know, I kind of want to not say that phrase or word ever again because I've said it so many times in this last episode.
You're close to 5?
Yeah. I'm scared.
I think we probably are at 5.
No. Nope.
Fear of the name increases fear of the thing itself. I'm just saying.
Oh, jeez.
You can say Candyman. You can say Voldemort.
He who must
You
not
can say
be
Shaitan,
named.
which I'm pretty sure is how you say that from Wheel of Time.
Okay, so
The snark out there is like, don't say the name.
It always feels like someone's following you down the hallway. Even when you're alone in that building, you're never really alone.
That's creepy.
That's super duper creepy. There have been a few other rather strange occurrences that have happened outside of these 3 buildings. The founder of the college had a floor-to-ceiling mirror in his home that he would use to channel the ghost of his dead wife. All right. That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
When I hear floor-to-ceiling mirror, I think totally different things.
The snark just says, it's pronounced the Dark Lord. No, I will not call him that.
In his will, he requested that the mirrors and a trunk of his and her clothes remain in the house.
That's fucking creepy, dude.
It's
absolutely not.
It's like that lighthouse that you covered last night where the ghost is like, don't take my furniture, bitch.
Yeah. Should have listened to him.
They're still there today. So the trunk, the mirrors, the clothes, they're still there today. I'm sure the portal he created in the mirror has a lot to do with the activity that happens on campus. A large and heavy mirror that hangs in Ray House flew off its hooks and fell to the floor without breaking or being damaged in any way. What? This is just terrifying.
Side note, hearing about like a mirror not breaking, because instantly I thought like 7 years bad luck. I carried an umbrella today because it was raining in Vegas, and I was like walking in, I closed it, and I thought about like I should do another superstition episode. That one was so much fun, but so many people told us their superstitions. I wonder if there's any of them left out there.
We have so many new listeners, and I feel like you guys should send us your superstitions. Hashtag superstitious. Superstish-ish. That's what it was, right?
Yeah. I will do another superstition episode, this upcoming episode, and then after that, we'll start taking in all those so I can recap it on the next episode. It'll be fun.
Those are just some creepy happenings that occur on my former college campus. Yes, I've since graduated. Congratulations.
Congrats.
That's always a very big accomplishment. Hope you guys enjoyed my story, and I have plenty more creepy and strange ghost encounters I can share in the future. Keep on creeping on, Molly. Thank you so much, Molly, for sharing that super crazy campus that I never want to go to.
Right. Really good stories. I hope we get more information on haunted campuses because so many of them have been around for a very long time. And every campus seems to have like a haunted building or like a haunted section of a building that folks know about, like just from going there. So if you know anything like that, if you have any stories like that, send them our way. We want to hear them. All right, so I'm going to move on to my second and the final story of this episode. The subject is haunted college classroom / bathroom. I feel like we must have had a haunted college like email like 2 or 3 months ago that just prompted all of these to come in, and hopefully I didn't like pull the same one as you. So let me know if this sounds familiar. I hope it does not. Story 1. Nope, doesn't. Okay. Hello, Adam and Robin.
Hello.
Hello. Did you say hello?
Yeah.
My cousins introduced me to your podcast a year or 2 ago, and since then, I've loved listening and often listen while in the gym to keep my mind off the horror of working out. Since some of my family members have written in, I have been thinking about writing in, so here we go.
Thank you.
I'm 18, and ever since I was about 7, I've been having small encounters with the paranormal. These 2 stories are the most recent, and I thought would be good stories to share with you guys. Story 1. I'm an evening cosmetology student at Fullerton College. It was a normal night, and we were all working on our mannequin heads, practicing haircuts, color, and other things. Someone's muffler is just dragging outside, or they're dragging like a fucking T-1000 behind them.
T-1000?
Which wouldn't make sense, because that's liquid metal, so it would be more like a T-100. Actually, I don't even know what Arnold's model is. I'm going to move on. Each day, we had different instructors, and on this specific day, it was the lead instructor for not only our level 1, but for the entire program. I was in the middle of doing my procedure, and suddenly the music that was already loud started getting louder. It wasn't one giant volume raise, it was slow and gradual. I looked around the class to see if anyone else had noticed, and everyone was just looking at each other like, what the hell?
The cars are so loud
I
right
know,
now.
there's like a fucking drag strip
What
outside
time
our
is
office
it?
right now. It's 7:50.
Oh my lord.
We then looked to our instructor who thought I was playing a prank on us. She looks up at us with the same look of somewhat confusion and a little fear. She turns it down and says to the entire class, "Want to hear a story?" Which is just such a creepy thing to say when something creepy
funny
happens.
ass joke?
You want to play a game? It's like that hair is actually filled with marbles. I don't know.
Bees.
I'm not good at torturing people. Bees! All right. She proceeded to tell us that it wasn't the first time that had happened in our classroom. She said a couple years ago, there was a young woman who was a student in the program. He passed level 1. There was a young man, who was a student in the program. He passed level 1, and during the summer, going into level 2, he was murdered by a family member. Some time had passed since his death, and a family member came to the college to sell his mannequin heads. That same day, our instructor was signing students' assignments, and the music was getting louder. She shrugged it off, thinking it was just something up with the technology, but something was telling her to look to the right. On the window ledge to her right was one of the boys' mannequin heads with his name on it. She knew that it was him messing with her, since he was the one that would always help her set up her Pandora and get the music started.
All right.
Wow. Listening to her story gave me the chills, but a somewhat warm feeling. It happened 2 more times that semester. Once with that same instructor who looked at me, shook her head, and turned it down. The second time was around the end of the semester with a different instructor, but to me, it was his way of telling us goodbye and good luck. That's a nice story.
Yeah.
Story 2. In the hallway where most of the cosmetology classrooms are, there's a restroom. One day, the girl that sat in front of me came back from the restroom and came to me freaking out. She said she was in there and heard the stall doors being slammed, just banging on the wall behind her while sitting on the toilet. I told her it might have just been someone in the hall being stupid and was banging on the wall. A couple of days later, I ran to the restroom and I was the only one in there. I was there on the toilet and I heard some banging noise. I hurried out of the stall, and as I was rushing to wash my hands, make sure you do that for plenty of time nowadays, rushing to wash my hands, I was staring into the mirror to make sure none of the stalls were moving as my eyes were scanning. And as my eyes were scanning, I heard it again, but I didn't see any of the stall doors close. I ran out of the bathroom and went straight back to class. I told the girl in front of me she wasn't crazy. I had heard the same noises. I have no idea what makes the noise, and any quote-unquote reasonable solution my mind tries to come up with, it just doesn't make sense. Thank you for reading my stories, and I hope they were good enough to share. I'll be writing in later about my first paranormal encounter, and probably a couple of others. Keep on creeping on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sending that in, man. That's super creepy. Lots of bathroom stuff, lots of college stuff this week.
Yeah. Did I tell you about the time my coworker scared me when I was in the bathroom?
No.
I was in the bathroom at I think I was either working at GameStop or Borders at the time. It was in the same mall right across from each other. But it was after the mall was closed, I went to go use the restroom. And I'm in there, it's a girl's restroom, whatever. I was with my male coworker, so I was like, okay. And I was just doing my business and was finishing up, and I was about to step out of the stall when I just had something bang up against the stall door. And so I freak out. And I don't know why, but my hands slam to the sides of the stall, and I'm just freaking out and oh my God, losing my mind. It was just my gay coworker who had come into the women's restroom to scare me.
Wow, what a dickhead.
I was just like, what the fuck?
So unnecessary.
I was so scared, dude. It was so scary.
Unnecessary, but also hilarious. I appreciate a good prank. All right, so I want to thank everyone who sent in their stories this week. We sincerely appreciate when you folks decide to share, because most of the time they're hilarious, sometimes they're scary, and sometimes they're really heartfelt. And either way, you're sharing a very personal thing with us, and we sincerely do appreciate that. So if you have a story you would like to share with us, please email storytime@scaryish.com, or you can go to our website, scaryish.com, and click on Contact Us. Fill out that form. It comes directly to us. You can hit us up on any of our social medias, like facebook.com/scariyishpodcast. Twitter is @scariyishpod, and Instagram is @scariyishpodcast. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to join our Discord, because it's a really fun community, it's really nice to see everyone chatting in there. You can go over to scaryish.com, and if you scroll down on the right-hand side, you'll see all the little icons for all of our social medias. Just find the Discord one and click on it, and it'll take you to our Discord server. We have quite a few people in there. I think we're above 300 at this point, and a lot of folks are actually active, unlike some Discord servers that I am in, so it's a really cool thing to see. Robin, for folks who would like to donate to us monetarily, now that I have quit my job, where can they do so?
You can head on over to patreon.com/scaryish-podcast. Those are monthly donations. There's a whole bunch of different tiers. They start at $8. So please support us on there. And then we do have a Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/scaryish-podcast. Those are one-time donations, and all those donations go to helping us upgrade our studio setup. If you folks have been around since the beginning, you will have noticed, one, my hair is so incredibly long now. 2, our video went from little dinky GoPro to an actual video camera.
Yeah.
Our mics have evolved. We were able to get a new computer. You folks, seriously, keep this podcast going. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we love you all for it, sincerely from the bottom of our hearts. And we are excited to bring you new and great things, and more on that very, very soon. So I think that's just about everything we have for Storytime number 109. So Robin, go ahead and ascend us out.
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye.